Yeah.
We're not back in the building, but
we're in a building.
We're in a is this considered a building?
I think so.
You got Cheetos on your lips.
I was saving that. In case I got hungry during the show.
Get it all off.
But now I gotta eat it now. I wanted to eat it later.
Just eat it all, please.
All right.
It's everywhere on your lip on the right side. Let me see. You just put a little bit on the left side. You're really trying to save it. No, you ain't saving this. I took it off. What's up?
What's up, y'all? What's up? This is Friends Who Smash Home Edition.
Home Edition.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. We're gonna start doing a lot of podcasts from here, especially when it's just only when it's just me and her.
Yeah.
When we do couples, of course, we're gonna go back to the spizzy spot. But this is more. I think it's more comfortable. Well, I want to say comfortable because.
To be honest.
All right.
The reason we're doing this is because we have babysitter issues.
All the time. All the time. No one wants to watch that. Nah, let me not say
No,
that.
they do want to watch her. It's just that our village has kind of gotten smaller.
Oh, we can't overuse them.
Yes, and
That's
so we gotta figure out when.
Yeah.
We gotta prioritize our sitter.
Right.
Rights.
Right. Right.
Because what I've realized, is that we have such a sporadic lifestyle and schedule, and we're so used to moving in that way. We're so used to just moving whenever we want. But then with Sage, we can't move like that. So
other people don't move like that.
Yeah, so we're just using our resources. We have a home. It used to be a beautiful blue couch.
It's still blue. I mean
it's
they
still
say
blue,
it's blue.
But
you know
I said beautiful.
I feel like it's still beautiful too.
That baby came in here and did some things.
I mean, she definitely uglies, everything that you try to keep beautiful. I don't know if you when you was out of town, you see that wall over there? The she wrote all on that wall. I mean, all on the wall. I'm talking about, it was a project. It looked like this painting on that wall.
She wants to do this.
She wrote on the wall. She wrote on this painting too. Right here.
Oh my goodness.
No, right here.
Oh no, it's everywhere. It's right here too.
Yep.
Just disrespectful.
Yeah, she go hard.
We gotta talk to her about this. She wrote
she's not,
everywhere. She's like, listening. I want to be a part of this.
She's not listening.
So what I want to talk about today, Black and you and I were talking about Married at First Sight. We love Married at First Sight. And I also low-key think like all these little shows came after you surprised me with the wedding.
What's funny about it is when the wedding happened, we went to LA and had all of these meetings. And, everybody was like, they're not on wedding stuff. Like, right now, it's just not the time for a wedding, blah, blah, blah. And then, all of a sudden, all of these wedding and, marriage
shows and stuff.
They just but, I mean, it is what it is. It just wasn't the time.
We need to know who has put us on the blacklist. We need to know who. We don't even need to know who created the meeting.
We don't need to know who put us on it.
We don't need to know who put us on it. We just want to see the cliff notes from the blacklist that y'all have created for my husband and I. Because it seems like every time we have a great idea, we start to execute. Here comes somebody running their goddamn mouths.
Or somebody is like putting obstacles in our way, or
it's so wild. But we're gonna keep on going. But we do want that cliff note list. So friendswhosmashpodcast@gmail.com. Email us the list. We don't even need to. You're gonna do it anonymously, but we want to know who put us on the
we definitely want some cliff notes. Let me cut this. Let me cut this off. My bad.
So anyway, like I was saying, Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
So one night we were in here watching Married at First Sight, and I think we both get irritated, but I think Black gets irritated less than I do with Married at First Sight.
I think with everything. But okay, go ahead.
Excuse me. Sometimes you just got, just let people just.
If you don't feed it, it don't grow.
Yeah, just don't feed it and it won't grow. You got that from me.
No, I didn't. You got that from me. That's what I'm saying. What are you talking about?
So, all right. So, Married at First Sight. So, I told Black, I said, if we were matched on Married at, let's even start there.
Okay.
Do you think we would have been matched?
I think so. I think because we are a good amount of opposite. We're a great amount of opposite, to be honest with you. And then we have a lot of similarities as it relates to, being a dreamer and being creative. So I think that there's a chance that we would be matched. Because the weird couple, like both of them are weird and they put them together.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think we'll be matched.
And why don't you think we'll be matched?
Tell me some of the things that will be on your list, and I'll tell you some of the things that will be on my list, and we'll see if we would be matched. Would that work now though? I don't know if it'll work because we together.
And we don't know the criteria. We don't know how they match.
Match people. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't think we'll be matched.
But why?
Because they may ask me about my pet peeves.
Okay.
And then they may ask you how you feel about certain things.
But
right?
but that's the thing. They'll match you. So for instance, right? Listen, the home edition, whatever. They will maybe diagnose you as bossy, controlling, like in that realm, right? And then they may diagnose me as passive or whatever, right? So they feel like if they match us together, then we'll even each other out. That I will give you some of my, chill or whatever, and then you'll give me some of that, take the, go hard or however we describe whatever it is that you have. So I think that those are the things that they do.
Bossy and controlling. Why?
Why?
Yes. Why?
Why are you bossy and controlling?
Why do you consider me bossy and controlling? Yes.
You because you have to. In my humble opinion, I feel like you have to. You have to control like the environment. Like if you come in and you want it a specific way, no matter where it is, it don't like you can go to an event and and it's just something that you feel like needs to be done. You would make sure that thing was done.
I wouldn't go to someone else's event and change it.
If it was your friend, you would. If it was your friend and you went somewhere and you saw something that you felt like was like, look, you need to do it different, I think you definitely would. And I think that you interject into, like, for instance, if I do something the way that I do it, you will have a say about the way that I do it. You want me to do it the way that you do it. And that will piss you off, and you will keep telling me about doing it your way and the benefits in it until I do it your way.
So I think that, I'm sorry, I spit on you. I think that
you do it all the time, and I love it. I love it. I love when it's intentional. Nah, not that.
So for me, it's not about like my way being like the right way. I just think that my way makes it easier. For example, me and Gabby were having a conversation at my mom's house the other day, and Gabby was telling my mom, she was like, my mom is a lot like grandpa. And my mother was like, she is. Your grandfather, grandpa, the way he cleans and the way he likes order in the house, it really does it keeps order and decency in our home. It really does. She said, because I, leave the cabinets open, leave the lights on, and all of those things, right? So leaving the cabinets open can cause injury. Leaving the lights and stuff on spikes the electricity bill. So I think that what I bring like, hey, there's maybe a better way to do this. Just like
you're stating my case. You're stating my case.
Exactly I just feel like my way is the best way. Like certain
exactly.
So hold on. So certain things that I feel like that in, why don't you just rock with it? Like if I'm coming into your life to bring out the best in you, and I'm coming into your life to possibly make you better, why do you fight me on wanting to do things my way?
I don't necessarily fight you on it.
You get your pride and your ego is so wretched. Like it is so wild that you have to.
What? Go ahead.
This is terrible body language.
Of me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And you're being very passive aggressive and very like condescending.
Okay.
You know you are.
No, I'm just laughing because I was about to say something and you cut me off.
Go ahead, say it.
Yeah.
Because I was talking though.
No, you stopped and you asked me a question. Okay. I'm about to answer the question and you went on again.
Go ahead.
So, your father, I understand certain things. But then there's certain things that I just don't understand. Like it's like, why would you walk that way? You know what I'm saying? Let's say I went to the kitchen to get something or whatever, and I decided to go around this chair. And you think the easiest way to the kitchen is the other side of the chair. And you'll be like, well, why did you walk that way? And this is how you'll say it. Why would you walk that way? Why didn't you just go that way? And I'd be like, I just walked this way. I felt like walking this way. And so, like, it's not harming anybody. It's not anything that has anything to do with the electricity. It has nothing to do with, injuring or nothing. It's just the fact that you would have went this way and I went the opposite way. And you would be pissed until I adopted the way that you went. Like, if you say something like the electricity, the lights, right?
Oh, God, let's not get on the electricity.
No, let's get on the lights. Let's get on the lights.
Lord, please.
Let's get on the lights. You are absolutely right. And
come home, every light on in the house. It's like...
You don't think this is cutting me off?
Okay, go ahead.
You just can't help it.
I did cut you off because this topic is very triggering. Like, I don't understand adults that have an issue with things like that.
I don't have an issue with it.
Or be so absent-minded.
Do you know that marriage is a combination of two people that have been raised by different people in different environments that value different things? So when you get in a marriage, you have to take that into consideration. Just because you do something this way doesn't mean that, well, it could mean that it's the right way for like our budget. It's the right way.
Exactly.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to get it instantly. And that doesn't mean that I'm absent-minded. What it means is there's a certain level of conditioning that I'm going to have to do in order to make sure that it's taken care of. And you have to give me grace on that because I was not raised like you. And the same goes for you. I have to give you grace for certain things because I understand that you wasn't raised like that. But when it comes to distributing grace,
I really struggle with patience and grace when it comes to like things like that. Like the leaving lights on and leaving things on. Because it's like, this shit is going to get cut off because the bill is going to be so high. How does that not register in your brain? Like that's what I'll be thinking. Like I'm not thinking like, oh, I forgot. No, like in my mind I'm thinking for everything. I'm like, all right, we gotta cut this off. This gotta be off because if this shit gets high, this is gonna be wild for us. So for me, I'm thinking about how would this look for us when the bill comes. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking, I'm not just nitpicking all the lights on.
But my thoughts aren't on that. My thoughts aren't on that. And my thoughts have never been on that, like, from when we first started dating or whatever. You know what I'm saying? My thoughts have never been on that, And so it takes, like, even, let's go to another thing that was a super pet peeve of yours, which is making sure that both of the locks were locked. You know what I'm saying? You like, that shit is just, that drove you crazy. I could come in the house when I was young. I would come in the house and we had the doors that when you open it, it automatically locked.
Yeah,
Not the top lock,
lock,
but the bottom lock.
Yeah.
And I was never, because, you know, I had a sister that was running in and out. I was running in and out. I would, like, my mother would never, like, be like, make sure you lock. We made sure it was locked before we went to bed. But during the day, we didn't. You know what I'm saying? When I used to live with my father, the front door was unlocked. Mm-hmm. It was never locked until it was nighttime. Mm-hmm. And so I got with you, and you get pissed every single time.
I'll say that that's extreme, and I'll say that was extreme.
I've never heard you say that until today.
Okay, well, just you hear it now.
Well, but that's now. Now it's like it's conditioned to where. You know what I'm saying? I gotta, like, if I think that it's unlocked, I go downstairs to check it.
Good.
I know that's cool, but what I'm saying is
good. It worked.
But what I'm saying is, like, that's the compromise or whatever. But during that process, there was no grace there, and you would get pissed with me every single time that the door was unlocked. You would get pissed with me. And let's say that I came in and I locked the top lock. We got the door now where, you know, you unlock the bottom lock. It doesn't automatically lock. You have to lock the bottom lock too. So if I come in and I open the door and consciously I'm thinking, well, let me lock this, and I lock the top lock, but I don't lock the bottom lock because, you know, I'm forgetting that I have to lock it. You will come in and be pissed about the bottom lock not being locked.
I don't get pissed like that no more. The only time I get pissed is if I come home and the door is not locked at all.
It doesn't happen anymore. It
has happened. It's happened. It's
happened.
The
other day it happened because of you.
I don't remember that.
We talked about it last night when you woke me up and you was like, "Baby, why was the door open?" And I was like, "Yo, you left out. I didn't even go outside."
Okay. All right. Well, that was on me.
Okay. All right. So I just think that, you know, and I think that it's in your favor, right? And the reason why I think it's in your favor is because you're so vocal. This is one thing that I swear to God I wish I had. I wish I had how vocal you are about the things that you dislike immediately, because, you know, you can express it, and then it makes me like I have to consciously think about it and consciously work towards doing it. But the passiveness in me, you know what I'm saying, is if you do something that is not necessarily something that I agree with, but I see it as something small, I don't necessarily say anything. You know what I'm saying? Until it's like until we get into conversations, and then you point out all of these things that I do wrong.
You gotta get this together. You definitely gotta get this together. So okay. Let's go back to Married at First Sight real quick.
Yeah, because that was
a long tangent. Our people know we go off on tangents, especially when it's just you and I. We will go off on a tangent in a second because, again, therapy. So I told Black that I most definitely feel like I would not marry him on Married at First Sight. And he feels the same way. I think that I would see all of the pet peeves, and I would feel like, can I live with this? Do I want to live with this? I don't think that I would even give it a chance, because the goal would be marriage. So my goal has never been marriage, right? For my life, my goal has never been marriage. It's always been to live free, to travel, to be successful, to build wealth, all of that. My goal was never marriage, being a parent. My plan, the plan that I had for myself, is not the plan that God had for me. So if I was to go on Married at First Sight, I'm pretty sure it would be back then it would have been to get on a platform, right? Mm-hmm. And then when I would see all the things that you, like any pet peeves, like the kitchen and all of that stuff, I would be like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to deal with him. I don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because there will be no courting. We're already married, and I'm like, if we're already married and I'm dealing with this, how much more can I take? I'm going to go crazy having to deal with this. I'm gonna stop this before it even starts.
Okay.
And so you said,
I would totally agree. You would be too much for me. You would be too much for me at once. Like our courting, I was able to, you were fed to me like trickle. You know what I'm saying? And I had the ability to walk away from you if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I had the ability to be like, nah, I ain't dealing with this, and just step off. And then we'll just come back, and then we'll come to have some understanding, and then we'll continue. Then, the shit, the cycle repeat. But I think I think you'll be too much. You'll be too much for me.
I think that I would want to be your friend. I think that I would want to be your friend. I don't think that I would want to be married.
I don't think that I would want to be your friend.
Are we okay now, though?
No,
married?
We okay,
because
right?
now that I'm thinking about it, right? If we went on Married at First Sight and we seen each other the way we see each other today, and we made a decision to not do it, why did we make a decision to do it now and stay in it now? If we feel so strongly, and this is a real question, if we feel so strongly about one, you not even wanting to be my friend, and then two, us not wanting to stay in the marriage because we see all of each other. Mm-hmm. How does that translate to our marriage now? Like, how does it translate?
I mean, I don't think that there's a comparison. Like, this was, first of all, this is something that we chose to do. So when you choose to do something, there's a certain level of understanding.
I can handle this.
Yeah, like you're making a decision, and you're making a decision based on what's been being presented to you. And this hasn't been easy. You know what I'm saying? We've made some decisions before where we walked away from each other because we felt like we couldn't handle it. And we just came back to each other. So, to get to this space is not easy. So, like, even now, or even to move forward, I don't think that it's going to be easy. And I think that that's the whole point of this podcast, and the point of just having conversations like this, is that marriage isn't easy. Like I said at the beginning, these are two people that were raised two different ways, that had two different backgrounds, two sets of values. Some of them equal, some of them don't. Like, to mend that together is a lot. And in order to do that, you have to have grace. You have to have understanding. You have to put down egos and pride. And that's hard to do, especially in a moment. Like, that's something that you have to, first of all, I have to love you enough to want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I have to love you enough to want to put down my ego. To be like, yo, you lunching, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just so much to it. So I think that show is crucial, because you're trying to fit years of courting into a couple of months.
Yeah.
And that is
not even a couple of months. They get 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's crucial. I don't think that I can know all of you in 6 weeks. And if I knew all of you within that 6 weeks, it might be too much for me. You see what I'm saying? Like, me knowing you for 3 years and it being fed to me, like, okay, these 2 months, this is what I see. All right, how I'm going to deal with that? Oh, okay. All right, I can deal with that. Okay. Then the next 2 months, something else come. And then vice versa, the same with you. You seeing me. Next 2 months, something else come. Okay, well, I managed to deal with this over here. I really love this man. I love his company. I love all of this. I can probably deal with this too. All right, then 2 more months. But 6 weeks, look, boom, 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 boom. Here you go. And then we might not be smashing like that. You know what I'm saying? Woo, that's tough. That's tough.
So you wouldn't even want to be my friend?
I don't think, baby, and I'm just completely honest. I think that if I was giving all of you for 6 months,
6 weeks.
6 weeks, I don't think it would end well.
Why not?
Because at this point, I love you enough not to. When we were dating and you did things to me, I just walked away. I was like, all right, cool, peace. In those 6 weeks, I would have done the same thing. If you giving me all of this or whatever, and I gotta make a decision, I can get an annulment, you know what I'm saying, and it just, and I'm done with it. Like, yeah, I think that I would just be like, I'm good, I'm straight.
Well, now I'm empowered because that just lets me know that I am bold, I am fierce, I am confident, I am sure, I know what I need and I want, but I also am compassionate and caring. And I think that it does take a certain individual to be able to handle me, to be able to deal with me, to be able to um, uh, sustain a relationship with me. And if that person or whatever could not do that, then it will be I will trample all over them, and they would have to man up or get the fuck.
I feel like that's an unfair statement.
No,
like,
it's not unfair.
I think it's unfair for you to say the words "man up." You know what I'm saying? To say the words
because you have to be a certain type of man.
Yeah, you have to be a certain type of man, but that doesn't mean that you have to be like. You know, when you say man up, what you're basically saying, people normally use the word man up because they saying like, yo, you not acting like a man right now. Or you need to do this, you need to do that.
You can't be mediocre because if you mediocre, you'll be intimidated. You'll have the insecurities will be through the roof. You have to be somewhat of an alpha male.
I've never been mediocre. You know, listen to what I'm saying first. I've never been mediocre, and to be honest with you, I don't even consider myself as an alpha male. Like I don't consider myself as a beta male. I consider myself as a motherfucking male. That at any situation, I do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Whether that be, you know, doing something physically or whether that be doing something mentally. Like I don't buy into that, and so. You know, if I make the decision that I can't handle you, to be honest with you, that is kind of quote unquote manning up. Because if I'm saying to myself that, look, because I think you're saying that, I'm saying that you would be too much for me. But what I mean by that is, I don't think that you would be willing to compromise. I don't think that you would be willing to put your ego down. I think that you would think it's your way or the highway, and we would bump heads. And I wouldn't want to deal with that shit.
So this is sounding like everything would rely on me having to change and me having to compromise and my ego and my pride. But what about you having to compromise?
I mean, I would definitely have to compromise, but your personality versus my personality are different. You want results immediately. You want results immediately. If you feel a certain kind of way and something should go this way, you want somebody to change like that.
That's not the truth. I want to see progress. I want to see that you are trying. I don't want to see that you are not even listening or you forgot or I gotta, you know.
So if someone, let's go to the lights. If the lights have been cut off every time you leave this house for 20 days, and then you come in one day and the lights are on, you telling me that you wouldn't have a fit as if the lights wasn't on for all of those 20 days? Your response would be the same.
I don't think that I would have a fit. I would just be like, why are all the lights on?
Right, but that would be your same response that you would do if we did it, you know, consecutively.
So what's wrong with me asking why are all the lights on? Even if they have been cut off for 20 days, if the lights are on, I'm asking why are all the lights on?
So you don't agree that if you feel like something needs to be done a certain way, and I didn't do these things immediately, or you know I did them I don't want to say haphazard, or I forgot about them here and there, you don't think that you would be pissed, and you don't think that you would show me that you would be pissed?
I would tell you that. Did you forget what we talked about? Like, I would say that.
And if I say yeah, then what? Yeah, I did forget.
I would ask how many times am I gonna have to like remind you about this?
I don't know. This is not something I'm used to. Then what?
That's you not showing. That's you just saying I have a forgetful mind, so I just forget. I don't know. You are not compromising in that moment because you're not even trying to meet me. You're just being like
What am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to say? It'll never happen again.
No, just say I'll do my best. I'm trying, but you don't do that. You just stick to your word. Like I forgot. But if I'm asking you to do these things and then your answer is so lackadaisical like this, that shit is it drives me insane.
So is it
because I wouldn't respond to you like that, because if you're asking me something, if you want me to do something, I immediately say Black doesn't like this, or Black wants me to do it this way. I've retained that information.
Okay, so let me stop you right there.
And if I don't, when you come to me, I'm not gonna be like, well, I forgot.
You just said in that statement that I wouldn't respond that way. And
you said what?
You said in that statement, you said I wouldn't respond that way. So you're telling me that because I respond that way, that I'm not giving my best effort, because you wouldn't respond that way if you were giving your best effort. What if I was giving my best effort and that was just my honest response? If you said, well, when are you going to remember? And I said, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? You
didn't say I'm trying at first. You just added I'm trying.
If I say I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I'm still making efforts to appease you. You don't like my response because it's not the response that you would give, so you would be pissed because I responded that way.
Not only because it's not a response that I would give, because in your mind you're doing this. You're not showing me.
How would you tell?
You just said in my mind I'm processing it, I'm trying. But I'm telling you, I don't know. Why would you even do that? If you trying, then tell me that you're trying, because I need that I need to see action. And if that's what you know of me.
But now we're talking about words. We're not talking about action. If we're talking about action, then you will come in and see out of the 7 days how many times are the lights turned off, and you would compare that from week 1 to week 2. Me telling you this is not going to show you anything. But you want me to give you the words that you want to receive.
I don't want you to give me the words that I would say. I want you to show me that you are trying. I want you to say these words to me. Baby, I forgot, but I am working on it. That helps me. Even if the next time you forget and you say, baby, you know what? I know I told you I'm working on it. I'm really working on it. Just bear with me. Just that helps me. But that nonchalant attitude is a fucking trigger, and I'm working on that, because that shit that I don't know, or the lackluster responses like I forgot. And then when I'm in my mind, I'm having to remember everything, and I have to remember to remind you to do things that I want you to do. That is a lot. That is overwhelming. Yo, for real, this you know what's blowing me right now.
What?
You know what's, y'all. Black is such a fucking smug. He is such a fucking smug, and it blows me so bad, because when you're talking to him, you look at him and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you. He does it all the time. It's very passive aggressive, and it's very condescending, and I really hate it. So I'm about to quit the podcast.
Let me tell you what the smile is, and because all the time it's not that. Majority of the time is that. No, it's not. Majority of the time is this. Majority of the time is, no matter what I say to you, about this situation, you just won't understand. I understand you.
Do you?
See, now
do you understand?
Hold up. You did this. You just did exactly what you said I do, right? And when you watch this back, you're going to see that you do that. You do that smug stuff that you're talking about.
No, I don't do smug stuff. I have an attitude. You do smug stuff.
Okay, so you, all right. What I'm saying is, I understand the things that you say, but you don't understand the things that I say. Like, for instance, I understand you saying.
I don't understand what you say.
Sometimes I don't think you do. I'm just being honest. Sometimes
this is why we're not getting married at first sight. This is exactly why. You see, because look at what we're going through, and we're about to be married 6 years in October, and we're still going through this type of shit.
But what do you expect? I don't understand. What do you expect? You don't expect this? Like, what did you think married was? I go over your mother and your father house, and you know what I'm saying. The way they deal with it is, your father say whatever, and your mother just ignore, right? Or your mother.
They've been married for over 40 years.
Right,
We've only been married for 6 years, and shit is wild.
So what do you think your father and your mother's marriage was like in 6 years? I'm curious. Do you think that they was this? Do you think that
what you mean?
Like, this? Do you think that they were this as far as the conversation? You say, wow, like anytime we have like critical situations or whatever, or conversations in which we can't, come to an agreement or feel like we don't understand, like you approach it with like, this is wild, and we hear like
I think if they happen few and far in between, then I wouldn't feel like that. I think because they happen more times than I would want them to, then that's why I feel like that.
I think they happen more times than you want them to is because we have to converse about it. And I don't necessarily think like,
Put it on me. Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. Put it on me. Go ahead, because that's what you're going to do. Go ahead. You don't think that I what? Go ahead. Watch this, y'all. You don't think that I what?
You don't like having these conversations.
See? Knew it. No, it was on me. It's always on me. It's always on me. Thank y'all. This has been a great episode of Friends Who Smash podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. I am irritated with Black at the end of this episode, so...
Why are you irritated?
Because you're irritating. You always put it on me. And I hate using always, but you do. You do that constantly. It's always me. You're always the one that make it better. I'm always the one that does not.
So
and I think that that's extremely unfair and not true.
So you think that I feel like I make it better. You think that I don't take responsibility for the things that you say to me. I take responsibility for the flaws that you talk, the any kind of stuff that you give me, I take responsibility for. I never back away from that. But what I do is I'm willing to have conversation about it, and I'm willing to own up to what I'm doing wrong, and then I'm also willing to try to explore what we can do to alleviate the situation. So I'm not putting it on you. I just think that when we have conversations or whatever, like I don't know. I get you angry from my conversation. Like even in this, I got you angry because I'm expressing something about how I feel. But in the interim, when we're doing our day-to-day lives, like I am trying my best to make you happy. I'm trying my best to cut off the lights. You know what I'm saying? So we're having a conversation about it. Why is it irritating you so bad when my actions are trying to, once again, I gotta say that because this is what this is how you say it. When my actions is trying to appease you. Why, if we're talking about locked doors and you've been pissed off for locked doors forever and I've been trying to appease you, and when you come in and you upset about it, I just take it. You know what I'm saying? But why can't we have a conversation about why it was so hard for me or why it was different? You know what I'm saying? Why it was just like, why can't we have that conversation and walk away from that conversation with it just being the conversation and you not being irritated with me?
I don't know. I definitely need to work on that because I definitely get extremely irritated because I feel like we've been married for 6 years, but we've been together for longer, and I feel like we've been together for 10 years, and I feel like the things that I asked you to do are minute, and it's still, I still have to remind you. You know what I'm saying? Like I still have to remind you of those things, or like if I ask you a question, just like the thing with my car, when I asked you not to do it, you still did it, and then you did it wild, like, and you didn't even apologize. And then when I told you about it, you was like, all right, well, I apologize. And then you move on. Right?
That's how I did it?
Yes, you did that last night. You apologized and just move on. Like, that's how you do things. Like, when I say how I'm feeling or what's going on, it's like, all right, well, cool, I apologize, but, and then you move on to the next thing. Like, we don't, it's just I apologize and then move on. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I get irritated. That's why I get frustrated. And so that's why it carries. No.
I'm asking you, what am I supposed to do?
Let me finish. And that's why it may carry, because I'm like, I'm not over this. Like, this thing hurt me, or this thing made me feel some type of way, and I tell you about it, and you're like, all right, cool, my bad, or I apologize. So, but you know, and it's like, wait, how did you just move past it like that? Yes, an apology is great, but did you really acknowledge what I just said? You apologize, but the acknowledgement of it and you doing better makes me feel better. Makes me feel better than just this wild apology. You know what I'm saying? Like, because anybody can apologize, but actually doing better and acknowledging that I have to do better is what I require.
So what do you suggest I do? What do you suggest I do about anything that you come to me and you want, an apology or an acknowledgement for? What do you suggest I do? Do you suggest that I recognize what you say, I apologize, and what do I do after that? And I'm not talking about action, because apparently, you know what I'm saying, it can't be action at that point in time.
Right.
Because yesterday we had a conversation and you expressed yourself for a very long time about this subject. After you finished the subject, I apologized sincerely. It wasn't no blah, 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 but we were going back and forth about things. Like, this was a session of us having a conversation about some things that we needed to work on. You told me that. I apologized sincerely. I said, I'm absolutely sorry. This will not happen again. I know how upset you be about that, but you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry about that.
You said that?
Yes, I said that. Listen, y'all. Y'all see what it is. We doing it in front of y'all. Hopefully, y'all could, see some things for real. Y'all may be able to help us out. We are not relationship goals. We a case study. As we say before, we going through what we going through. We trying to figure it out as we go. I've been so in love with this woman, and I'm gonna be married to her for the rest of my life. So, these are the type of things that we go.
You gotta keep saying that to yourself. Do you feel like you gotta keep saying that to yourself?
I don't feel like I have to keep saying that to myself, because I firmly believe it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I'm a lot of woman.
Do you believe it?
What?
Do you believe that?
That you in love with me?
And the other part too.
That I'm in love with you. Sometimes.
And that you're gonna be married to me for the rest of your life.
I think so.
Alright, y'all, we out. Peace.
No, I do.
Peace. No. I'm
y'all, it's an argument. He about to be pissed.
Cause I love it.